Welcome to Sofa, Mocha, and Mystery. My name is Taya. I've listened to your comments and this is me. The story today is a well-known one, but one which gripped me intensely many years ago. It also seems apt to use as my first public video due to anxiety and mental health reasons, which need to be normalized and understood. We will be taking a deep dive into the disappearance of Elisa Lam, the dark world of the Cecil Hotel, and the poignant messages Elisa left for us. In February 2013, the city of Los Angeles was gripped by perplexing mysteries surrounding the disappearance of Elisa Lam. The 21-year-old Canadian traveler had embarked on a solo West Coast tour, filled with excitement and anticipation. But as the days passed, concern grew among her family and friends back home. Elisa, known for her regular phone calls to her loved ones, had suddenly gone silent. News reports of the missing girl spread, detailing the puzzling circumstances of Elisa's vanishing. Speculations ran rampant, with theories ranging from simple misfortune to sinister foul play. Yet, all roads seemed to lead to one place, the Cecil Hotel, a notorious establishment with a dark and troubled past. In the case of Elisa Lam, the Cecil Hotel is as much a character and witness as she herself. Elisa Lam arrived at the Cecil Hotel on January 28, 2013, checking into room 506, a community room known for its communal atmosphere. However, her intended check-out date of February 1st coincided with the day she went missing, sparking a frantic search by law enforcement. Upon investigation, police noted that Elisa's belongings had already been removed from the room by hotel staff, including her laptop, prescription medications, and wallet. Yet no signs of foul play or drug paraphernalia were found. Although an employee described the room as messy, further examination revealed the hotel's dated and dilapidated state, with dusty, dirty rooms and carpets soiled to the point of stickiness. Elisa's digital footprint provided crucial clues, as she treated her Tumblr account like a diary, leaving behind digital breadcrumbs that investigators and amateur sleuths followed diligently. They traced a journey from her arrival in Los Angeles to her visits to local establishments, including a bookstore she'd frequented. Despite their efforts, 5 days passed with no information on Elisa's whereabouts, leading detectives to suspect the Cecil Hotel played a significant role in her disappearance. The Cecil Hotel, opened in 1924, was an imposing building alongside notorious Skid Row, boasting over 700 rooms. However, by the 1930s, the hotel had fallen into disrepair, becoming known for its seedy reputation. Recession-era hardships further tarnished its image, with reports of hourly bookings and a clientele involved in drugs, robberies, and prostitution. The Cecil Hotel emerged not only as a backdrop to Elisa's story, but as a character in its own right, with a dark and storied history intertwined with her disappearance. Skid Row, an infamous area in downtown LA, became a focal point of the investigation. Spanning 56 blocks, Skid Row has earned a reputation as one of the most dangerous and violent places in the United States, teeming with homelessness, drugs, and crime. Established over a century ago, it essentially serves as a containment zone for individuals from mental facilities and those considered societal miscreants. With minimal policing and no regulations, Skid Row has become a haven for illicit activities, including drug dealing, prostitution, and violence. As investigators combed through surveillance footage from the Cecil Hotel, where Elisa was last seen, they encountered challenges. Not all floors were equipped with cameras, and there was no footage from Elisa's floor. Reviewing hundreds of hours of video, they eventually found footage of Elisa acting erratically from inside a lift. This was the only footage of Elisa close to the time of her disappearance, leading detectives to believe that she never exited the premises. This raised questions. If Elisa never left, where could she be? And who within the hotel might be responsible for her disappearance? The Cecil Hotel, known for attracting individuals fresh out of prison or on the run, has a troubled history. Thousands of 911 calls have originated from the hotel, ranging from drug-related incidences and fires to domestic violence and assaults. Disturbingly, some women reported being spied on in the bathrooms, underscoring the hotel's dangerous environment. It's possible that Elisa, unprepared for the hotel's harsh realities, found herself in a precarious situation due to her vulnerability or lack of familiarity with such an environment. The search for Elisa inside the Cecil Hotel was exhaustive, involving approximately 14 police officers meticulously combing through every inch of the building. From room to room and every nook and cranny in between, they searched over 600 closets and inspected every possible hiding spot. In a desperate attempt to locate any traces of Elisa, investigators even considered the possibility that she may have ended up in a dumpster, highlighting the extent of their thorough investigation. Scent tracking dogs were brought in to aid in the search effort. After a thorough sweep of the hotel, one dog picked up Elisa's scent from her room and traced it toward a large window leading to a fire escape. However, the scent trail abruptly ended there, leaving investigators baffled as to Elisa's whereabouts. The search extended to the hotel's rooftop, where officers scoured the area for any signs of Elisa or potential evidence. Despite their efforts, no trace of her or any clues to her disappearance were found. 2 weeks passed and still there was no breakthrough in the case. Planning on reconvening the following day, the team was dispersed as a new urgent case emerged, diverting attention and resources away from her search. Christopher Dorner became the priority, a former LAPD officer who had embarked on a violent rampage, targeting law enforcement personnel and their families. Dorner's actions posed an immediate and significant threat to public safety, prompting a massive manhunt involving multiple law enforcement agencies. With the search for Dorner taking precedence due to the imminent danger he posed, resources initially allocated to Elisa's case were redirected, leading to a reduction in the number of officers assigned to her disappearance. Despite the challenges posed by the shift in focus, investigators remained committed to uncovering the truth behind Elisa's vanishing. As the days passed since Elisa's disappearance, the public's intrigue grew, fueled by the release of the eerie elevator video capturing her last known moments. YouTube became a hub for amateur sleuths and armchair detectives, dissecting every frame of the released footage in an attempt to unravel the perplexing mystery surrounding Elisa Lam's disappearance. One particularly observant YouTuber highlighted the peculiar behavior of the elevator, noting that despite Elisa pressing all the buttons, it stubbornly remained stationary. This anomaly sparked a whirlwind of speculation, with theories ranging from technical glitches to more ominous possibilities lurking in the shadows. Elisa's actions within the elevator itself became a subject of intense scrutiny, as her visibly agitated demeanor and erratic hand movements raised troubling questions about her state of mind. As the footage approached the 2-minute 30-second mark, Elisa inexplicably vanished from view, leaving behind an empty elevator, in itself a strange sight. The released footage ignited a firestorm of analysis and conjecture due to a multitude of anomalies and inconsistencies that captured the attention of viewers worldwide. Central to the debate is the obscured timestamp displayed in the footage, which appears blurred and challenging to decipher, leading many to question its authenticity and ponder the possibility of deliberate alteration. The slow and deliberate movements of Elisa's hands in the video have also raised suspicions of tampering, with some suggesting that the footage may have been intentionally slowed down to obfuscate crucial details. Furthermore, viewers have identified apparent cuts and edits within the footage, notably when the elevator door abruptly jumps before closing, as well as the discovery of approximately 53 seconds of missing footage. The absence of this segment has fueled speculation about its contents and potential significance in understanding Elisa's fate. Various theories have emerged in an attempt to make sense of these discrepancies, ranging from allegations of a cover-up orchestrated by hotel management to suspicions implicating a hotel employee in Elisa's disappearance. The elevator footage has only deepened the mystery surrounding Elisa's disappearance, with questions lingering about whether someone deliberately obstructed the elevator's movement and if there were unseen figures lurking just out of sight. Elisa's online presence, particularly on Tumblr, which she used as a diary of sorts, offered glimpses into her inner world. Descriptions of her struggles with bipolar disorder and depression painted a poignant picture of her emotional journey. Despite her challenges, Elisa's honesty and vulnerability endeared her to many online followers who felt a connection to her raw authenticity. While some speculated about the possibility of Elisa being under the influence of drugs, others argued that her behavior seemed more indicative of a psychological episode. The Cecil Hotel's reputation for attracting illicit activities only added to the speculation surrounding Elisa's potential exposure to mind-altering substances, despite it being common knowledge she didn't even consume alcohol. Amidst the online chatter and speculation, one thing remained clear. Elisa's disappearance was a perplexing enigma that defied easy explanation. As the investigation continued, the quest for answers intensified, driven by a collective desire to uncover the truth behind her vanishing. Elisa's initial days at the Cecil Hotel seemed ordinary enough, as she shared a room with other guests. However, complaints soon arose about her peculiar behavior, prompting the hotel staff to relocate her to her room of her own. She left notes on other guests' beds, scribbling phrases like, "Go away," "Go home," or "Get out." Moreover, she refused to open the door for her roommates, insisting on a password. Later, Elisa was spotted in the lobby, where witnesses observed her making strange statements like, "I'm crazy, but so is LA." Despite these concerning incidents, they were not investigated, as peculiar occurrences were not uncommon at the Cecil Hotel. The Cecil Hotel's dark past cast a long shadow over Elisa Lam's disappearance. The hotel itself is notorious in the world of crime and criminology, inspiring many a film and TV series. Since its earliest days, the hotel had been plagued by tragedy and violence. In 1931, W.K. Norton's reported suicide marked the beginning of a string of grim incidents. Just a few years later, in 1934, a resident took their own life by slashing their throat with a razor, a chilling event that foreshadowed the horrors to come. The hotel's history of despair continued into the 1960s. In 1962, a heated argument between a woman and her husband ended in tragedy when she leapt out of a window in a fit of rage, tragically landing on someone below, resulting in the deaths of both individuals. Then, in 1964, a woman known as Goldie fell victim to a brutal attack in her room during the middle of the day. She was raped, strangled, and left on her bed, a stark reminder of the hotel's perilous environment. Over the years, the Cecil Hotel earned a reputation as a place where danger lurked at every turn. It became notorious as a hotspot for illicit activities and unspeakable crimes. Dubbed a lawless den, it was frequented by individuals with dark intentions, including serial killers who found refuge within its walls. Against this backdrop of tragedy and malevolence, Elisa Lam's disappearance only added another layer of mystery to the hotel's grim history. As investigators delved deeper into the case, they couldn't shake the feeling that the Cecil Hotel held secrets darker than anyone could have imagined. A place where even the most sinister figures felt at home, free to indulge in their most depraved desires. During his murderous rampage in the 1980s, Richard Ramirez, infamously known as the Night Stalker, left a haunting legacy at the Cecil Hotel. This notorious serial killer, whose reign of terror claimed the lives of 14 innocent victims, was inexplicably drawn to the hotel's dark allure, paying a mere $14 a night for his accommodation. Ramirez's presence at the Cecil Hotel sent waves of fear through the community, leaving residents gripped by a palpable sense of terror. His acts of violence were nothing short of nightmarish, ranging from terrifying torture to brutal rape and murder. The atrocities he committed were some of the most gruesome in the history of Los Angeles, instilling a sense of horror that reverberated far beyond the confines of the hotel. Another serial killer who called Cecil Hotel home was Jack Unterweger. In 1991, this Austrian journalist checked into the infamous establishment, ostensibly to research how police dealt with prostitutes in the area. Little did anyone know that Unterweger had a dark past lurking beneath his facade of journalistic inquiry. Prior to his stint at the Cecil, Unterweger had been convicted of rape in Austria. After his release from prison, a string of women began to go missing under mysterious circumstances. Unterweger fled to the United States, where he found refuge within the walls of the Cecil Hotel. It was here, in the heart of Skid Row, that Unterweger's twisted fantasies found fertile ground. The Cecil proved to be an ideal hunting ground for Unterweger, offering a steady stream of vulnerable women to prey on. With its seedy reputation and transient population, the hotel provided the perfect cover for his depraved activities. In 2011, in an attempt to revitalize its tarnished reputation, the Cecil Hotel underwent a transformation. A portion of the hotel was refurbished and rebranded as Stay on Main, with separate reception areas during the day, but with shared facilities. Its official website remained thececilhotel.com. Despite its troubled history, Elisa Lam was drawn to Stay on Main, seemingly unaware of the hotel's dark past. Her decision to book a stay at this establishment, guided by online research, ultimately led her into the heart of one of the most perplexing mysteries in the hotel's storied history. February 19, 2013, marked a significant turning point in the search for Elisa Lam. as guests at the Cecil Hotel began to notice issues with the water supply. Reports emerged of extremely low water pressure and discolored water, described as dark and tinted with a brown hue. Concerned guests who'd been using the water for various purposes, including showering, brushing teeth, and drinking, noticed a peculiar taste and alerted hotel staff. Some guests opted to change rooms, but the water pressure issues persisted despite assurances from the receptionist that maintenance would investigate the matter. Upon inspection, maintenance personnel on the third floor discovered an unsettling phenomenon. When taps were opened, a strange noise emanated from the plumbing. Suspecting a problem with the water tanks located on the hotel's roof, maintenance focused their attention on the main tank, the point where the water circulation initiated. Climbing to the roof, they accessed the 4 water tanks and began their examination. It was during this inspection that a shocking discovery was made. Upon opening one of the water tanks, a maintenance worker was met with a haunting sight. The lifeless body of Elisa Lam, floating motionless and ghost-like in the water. She was completely naked, her clothes having sunk to the bottom of the tank. She was floating face up, an inconsistency to drowned victims. How could someone have remained undetected in the water tank for 19 days, despite a police search and despite guests unknowingly using the contaminated water for bathing and consumption? The implications of her tragic fate raised urgent questions about hotel security, maintenance procedures, and the well-being of guests who had unwittingly come into contact with the tainted water supply. The discovery of Elisa Lam's body inside the water tank atop the Cecil Hotel sent the investigation into overdrive. The crime scene was inundated with officers, whilst details were trying to be kept from hotel guests. The media soon caught wind of the details, and it was this way that many residents of the Cecil Hotel came to the knowledge that they had inadvertently been drinking the water which was infused with the decaying remains of Elisa Lam. Many described the taste as foul and could not liken it to anything they had tasted before. Naturally, they felt sick to the stomach. With the gravity of the situation apparent, authorities took swift action, shutting down the hotel and relocating guests to alternative accommodations. The investigation shifted gears, treating Elisa's death as a homicide until proven otherwise. Her body, now a crucial piece of evidence, underwent meticulous examination. The tank was drained and her remains were carefully removed, with investigators documenting every detail. Despite exhaustive efforts, no conclusive evidence was found, leaving investigators perplexed and the case still shrouded in mystery. The Cecil Hotel became an obsession for both the public and internet sleuths alike, all eager to uncover the truth behind Elisa Lam's tragic fate. It is due to these sleuths that we can come to the following conclusions. Initial theories suggested that someone may have been holding the elevator doors open for Elisa. The closer examination revealed that she had also pressed the door hold button herself, allowing the doors to stay open for 2 minutes. Analyzing the video footage, it became apparent that Elisa was on the 14th floor when she hit the button, just 1 floor below the roof. As she headed left down the hallway, it seems that she may have been attempting to escape and make her way to the roof, possibly pursued by someone. Due to the police dogs having detected her scent at a fire escape on the 5th floor, this leads to speculation that she may have climbed out there and scaled the side of the building to reach the 14th floor, while a terrifying prospect that had been deemed possible. Another potential route to the roof was through the stairwell, which led directly to the rooftop. Notices posted at the door warned that opening it would trigger an alarm, though the functionality of this alarm was subject to debate. Despite the potential risks of climbing to the rooftop via the external ladder and stairs, evidence of beer bottles and cigarette butts on the roof suggested that people frequented the area, leading to even more questions. Amidst the noise of traffic and surrounding buildings, the question remained: if Elisa had screamed for help, would anyone have heard her? With access to the roof restricted to maintenance staff, owners, and managers who held keys to the door, investigators scrutinized the security measures in place. Upon inspection, the door leading to the roof was found to be functioning properly, reinforcing the belief that Elisa could only have reached the rooftop via the external fire escape. The possibility of foul play loomed large, prompting a thorough review of potential suspects within the hotel. The only interaction found between Elisa and anyone else was video footage captured of two individuals arriving at the hotel and giving Elisa a box. The two individuals left, and Elisa carried the box inside with her. Finally, it seemed like there might be a break in the case. Any theories surrounding this were quickly dispelled when the box was discovered among her belongings. Inside was a book she had purchased at a bookstore. The weight of the book prompted her to request delivery to the Cecil Hotel rather than carrying it herself. Logistical challenges also cast doubt on the circumstances of Elisa's death. The water tank lid, weighing approximately 20 pounds and unhinged, presented a formidable obstacle. Questions arose regarding how Elisa could have lifted the lid to access the tank and, more perplexingly, how could she have replaced it afterward? Despite speculation about the possibility of Elisa being under the influence of drugs, her own blog entries indicated a reluctance to partake in alcohol or drug use. While there was no concrete evidence to suggest otherwise, the possibility of Elisa experimenting with substances could not entirely be ruled out. One would have to wait on toxicology reports. The discovery of Elisa's Tumblr posts detailing her struggles with bipolar disorder added a poignant layer to the investigation. Her haunting words left a poignant trail of her inner struggles. Sometimes you look at the world and see nothing worth liking. Sometimes you look at yourself and see there is nothing worth liking. I want to kill myself. It scares me so much that I'm thinking about it. I'm waiting for this to pass, and tomorrow, hopefully, it will be gone. Her candid admissions of despair and thoughts of sorrow painted a picture of someone grappling with profound emotional turmoil. Some speculated that her cryptic posts hinted at suicidal ideation, raising the possibility that her entry into the water tank was a deliberate act to end her life. However, the circumstances surrounding her death raised perplexing questions. If Elisa had indeed intended to take her own life, why choose such an unconventional method? Reaching the main water tank was also no easy feat. The absence of a suicide note further muddled the narrative, leaving investigators searching for answers. One of the most baffling aspects of the case was the position of the closed tank lid upon the discovery of Elisa's body. With no internal ladders within the tank, the question of how the heavy metal hatch was closed loomed large. The discrepancy fueled speculation that someone else must have been involved in closing the tank, suggesting the possibility of foul play. Many theories emerged, with some believing that Elisa was murdered and her body subsequently placed in the water tank. The fact that she was found naked further fueled suspicions of a sexual assault, with her clothes possibly discarded afterward to conceal evidence. Among the pool of potential suspects, attention turned to hotel staff, leading to speculation of a cover-up orchestrated by someone within the establishment. This also rang true due to the supposed 53 seconds missing from the elevator footage. The medical examiner's reports on Elisa Lam's tragic demise presented a perplexing array of possibilities, reflecting the enigmatic nature of her case, with potential scenarios ranging from suicide to accident, sexual assault, or homicide. The investigation faced a daunting task in unraveling the truth behind her untimely death. The examination of Lam's clothing revealed a striking resemblance to the attire she wore in the elevator video, suggesting that she may have perished on the same day the footage was recorded. However, determining the exact duration of time she spent inside the water tank remained a challenging mystery. Despite extensive forensic analysis, there were no definitive signs of foul play. Tests for sexual assault yielded no conclusive evidence, and both internal and external examinations failed to cover any indications of trauma or injury. Additionally, the absence of characteristic findings associated with drowning, such as fluid in the airways or lungs, added another layer of ambiguity to the investigation. In the end, the autopsy concluded with a frustrating lack of clarity, offering no conclusive cause of death. It would be weeks later when toxicology results would finally shed more light on the situation. The question of how Elisa Lam's body remained undiscovered during initial searches of the Cecil Hotel's roof, despite the use of search dogs by the LAPD, raised suspicions and fueled conspiracy theories. Amateur sleuths and skeptics alike pondered the possibility of collusion between law enforcement and individuals possibly involved in a cover-up. Some theorized that the LAPD may have deliberately overlooked the water tanks or failed to thoroughly search the roof, suggesting a coordinated effort to conceal evidence or protect certain parties from scrutiny. This led to speculation about potential motives behind such actions, including bribery or coercion to maintain secrecy. There were also remarkable parallels between Elisa Lam's case and the plot of the movie Dark Water, which fueled speculation and conspiracy theories among amateur sleuths and curious observers. In the film, there are striking similarities to Lam's situation. A young girl wearing a red jacket, water issues with discoloration, and the tragic death of a child in a water tank. In Dark Water, the little girl meets her demise by falling into a water tank that is supposed to be locked, a chilling resemblance to the circumstances surrounding Lam's death. Some theorists suggested that the plot of the movie, with its uncanny similarities, might have inspired a deranged individual to carry out a murder, mirroring the events depicted on screen. Another peculiar coincidence surrounded a TB outbreak at the time Elisa's body was found. Approximately 4,600 people were exposed to tuberculosis, prompting healthcare officials to conduct tests on all of the residents of the Cecil Hotel. Strangely enough, the test used for examination was Lam Elisa, a direct reversal of Elisa Lam's name. This uncanny alignment sparked speculation among conspiracy theorists, theorizing that the government might be involved in a cover-up. There were conjectures that Elisa Lam could have been used as a biological weapon to target the homeless population in the area, and was then eliminated because she possessed knowledge that posed a threat to powerful entities. The connection between Elisa Lam's last visit to a bookstore and a cemetery added even more fodder for conspiracy theorists. When looking at the mailing address for the bookstore, its zip code led to Birdbury, BC, Canada. The coordinates pinned the exact location of the cemetery in Birdbury, British Columbia, where Elisa Lam was ultimately laid to rest. With the amounts of oddities and synchronicities to this case, it is no wonder that for over a decade it has been one of the ultimate mysteries of the 21st century. In the midst of the controversy surrounding the Cecil Hotel case, the spotlight turned to a death metal musician known as Morbid, whose real identity is Pablo Vergara. Internet sleuths stumbled upon videos of him taken at the hotel, along with music videos featuring violent imagery that seemed eerily connected to Elisa Lam's tragic death. Despite having no ties to Lam or the case, and having visited the Cecil Hotel a full year before Elisa, Morbid found himself at the epicenter of a global witch hunt fueled by sensational media coverage and unfounded internet rumors. These accusations unleashed a torrent of harassment and threats from individuals worldwide, plunging Morbid into a state of profound distress. Mexican authorities even subjected him to interrogation regarding alleged involvement in blood sacrifices, exacerbating the absurdity of the situation. In an effort to address the mounting scrutiny and refute the allegations, Morbid recorded a video to set the record straight about his role in the unfolding mystery.
This is Morbid. I wanted to inform you I am innocent.
Despite his innocence, Morbid suffered irreparable damage to his reputation, leading to the loss of his social media platforms and continued threats on his life. The harrowing ordeal took a significant toll on Morbid's mental well-being, pushing him to the brink of suicide and resulting in his hospitalization in a psychiatric facility. His experience serves as a reminder of the far-reaching consequences of baseless accusations and the detrimental effects of online harassment. Ultimately, Morbid views himself as another casualty of the Cecil Hotel. Elisa's toxicology results eventually came back. There was no indication that she had overdosed on medication in an attempt to end her life, or taken illicit drugs or consumed alcohol. However, the levels of her prescribed drugs found in her system were too low, suggesting that she may have been undertaking her medications. Furthermore, there were higher levels of drugs in the bottles, indicating that she wasn't taking them as prescribed. In her blog, Elisa contemplated the significance of the internet in our lives. "Where would I be without the internet?" she mused. "I suppose we roam on the internet because we aren't able to find in our physical lives the human connection we need for survival. So we search endlessly, online, alone." She also emphasized the importance of empathy and understanding, writing, "We can be empathetic here. Remind people you are human, and they are human. If you just listen, you will understand more." Reflecting on her struggles with mental health, Elisa shared, "According to some people, I have a chemical imbalance. Can I just inhabit someone else's brain? I just wish someone around me could understand." Bipolar 1 disorder, often referred to simply as bipolar disorder, is still widely misunderstood. It involves mood swings between extreme highs, mania, and lows, depression. A combination of medication and therapy is often recommended as the most effective course of treatment. Regarding Elisa's medication regime, she humorously referred to it as the breakfast of champions, expressing her dislike for taking pills every day. Listed amongst her medications were antidepressants, mood stabilizers, and atypical antipsychotics. As the investigation progressed, authorities began to gain a clearer understanding of Elisa's mental state, realizing that she was vulnerable and could have easily fallen victim to a crime. However, the perplexing question remained: how did she end up inside the water tank? To retrace her steps on the night of her death, one would have to navigate a precarious path. To access the tanks on the rooftop, an individual would need to maneuver across pipes, squeezing between the tanks to reach the one where Elisa was found. Then they would have to lift her body up a ladder and place it into the opening at the top of the tank. Another possibility considered was that Elisa was brought to the rooftop from an adjacent structure. However, transporting a body in such a manner without causing any visible damage or trauma seemed implausible. Typically, in cases of drowning victims, they are discovered floating face down with their arms down and legs drooping. Yet Elisa was found floating face up, a unique finding that raised suspicions of foul play. Despite the unusual circumstances, upon reviewing the scene, investigators found no evidence to suggest criminal involvement in Elisa's death. There were no signs of trauma or suspicious activity that could explain how she ended up in the water tank. The official determination of Elisa Lam's cause of death on June 21, 2013, sparked controversy and disbelief among the public. Despite the ruling of accidental drowning, many found it difficult to reconcile this conclusion with the peculiar circumstances of her demise, particularly the presence of her naked body in the water tank and the closed lid. Numerous individuals, including amateur sleuths and online communities, delved deeper into the case, seeking answers to the lingering questions and inconsistencies. While the rape kit results indicated no signs of assault or injuries, the fact that Elisa was found unclothed raised suspicions of foul play, leading some to speculate that she may have been lured to the rooftop by force, perhaps gunpoint. Further scrutiny of the autopsy report revealed discrepancies, notably in the section detailing the manner of death. Initially marked as undetermined, it was later amended to accident, a change that supposedly occurred over the course of 3 days. This alteration fueled suspicions of a cover-up, with many alleging that authorities had manipulated the classification to conceal the truth and silence the case. The lack of transparency surrounding the investigation, including the unavailability of police files to the public, only served to deepen suspicions of a conspiracy involving the LAPD, the coroner's office, the general manager of the Cecil Hotel, and individuals associated with the establishment. For many, these circumstances suggested a high level of corruption and collusion aimed at obscuring the true nature of Elisa's death. The revelation of Elisa Lam's mental health history sheds new light on the circumstances surrounding her tragic death. Investigators have emphasized that the public may not have a complete understanding on the severity of her mental health issues. As they delved deeper into her background, they discovered a pattern of non-compliance with medication and several prior mental breakdowns, which sometimes required hospitalization. Elisa's diagnosis of bipolar disorder suggests that the infamous elevator video may be a manifestation of a psychotic episode characteristic of BPD-1. The erratic behavior, paranoia, and apparent hallucinations seen in the video align with symptoms experienced during psychotic episodes. For someone like Elisa, these delusions and hallucinations can feel incredibly real and frightening, leading to actions aimed at self-preservation. During such episodes, individuals may exhibit behaviors like hiding or fleeing perceiving threats. In Elisa's case, it's plausible that she climbed to the roof and entered the water tank in an attempt to escape from imagined dangers. However, once inside the tank, she may have found herself unable to exit due to the water level dropping when the tank was in use, preventing her from reaching the hatch. Additionally, factors such as hypothermia, which can cause disorientation and a sensation of overheating, may have contributed to her decision to remove her clothing. In extreme cases, hypothermia can lead individuals to undress as their bodies attempt to regulate temperature. While the circumstances surrounding Elisa's death remain tragic and complex, the emerging understanding of her mental health challenges provides valuable context for interpreting the events leading to her demise. The investigators have concluded that there is no evidence of suicide in Elisa Lam's case. Instead, they attribute her tragic death to an unfortunate accident precipitated by her bipolar episode. The circumstances surrounding her death, including the possibility of her becoming trapped in the water tank due to decreasing water levels, and the potential effects of hypothermia leading her to her removal of clothing, align with this conclusion. Regarding discrepancies in forensic files and concerns about the video footage, investigators have dismissed these as human error and technical limitations rather than signs of a cover-up. While questions persist about oversight by the LAPD, particularly regarding the failure to search the water tanks, investigators maintain that there is no evidence of a conspiracy. The confusion surrounding the status of the water tank lid further complicates the case. Initially reported as open by the maintenance worker who discovered Elisa's body, subsequent statements indicated that it was closed. This discrepancy altered the perception of events and raised questions about negligence on the part of the hotel. However, legal attempts by Elisa's parents to hold the hotel accountable for wrongful death were dismissed by the court. Ultimately, the water tank lid reported as open, investigators found no further grounds for inquiry. As the investigation into Elisa Lam's tragic death draws to a close, the Cecil Hotel's tumultuous history continues to captivate and unsettle. With its closure in 2017 and subsequent transformation into an affordable housing complex, the once infamous hotel has taken on a new identity as the Hotel Cecil Apartments. Despite the passage of time and the evolution of its surroundings, the echoes of the past linger, reminding us of the mysteries and complexities that remain unsolved within its walls. As the Cecil Hotel begins a new chapter in its storied existence, it serves as a poignant reminder of the enduring legacy of tragedy and the profound impact of mental health challenges, as well as the obsessive dedication of internet sleuths seeking answers. Thank you for joining us on another episode of Sopa, Mocha, and Mystery. Be kind, be mindful of others, and seek help if you or someone you know is struggling with mental health issues.